Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. I'm a wife, mom of 3, and an NANP certified supplement professional, but that's not all. I'm also the founder of the most innovative health supplement company, awarded 4 years in a row. Accelerated Health Products, a brand offering innovative natural scalar enhanced supplements to optimize your health. And this podcast is not just a source of information. We are a community. We're all here to learn and grow on our health journeys, regardless of where you are today. And this podcast is the springboard to learning, and the free group coaching on Telegram is where we continue that journey. You can ask your questions. I post tips and tools to deepen your health and keep you moving forward. So here's what you can expect. New episodes every Monday and Wednesday with in-depth health discussions and expert guests, and then hot topics that are in the news every Friday like this one to keep things fun, and then followed up with the free group coaching on Telegram. The details are on my website at SaraBantaHealth.com. Have you thought about detoxing? You might after this episode, but you might be a little worried about being put on a juice cleanse and starving or having the detox flu symptoms. Well, I have created 10 unique, easy detox cleanses. You eat real food. You probably will end up eating more food than you are now, and losing weight, and getting rid of the bloat, and getting rid of the brain fog, and maybe just start pooping. Well, you can take the detox quiz on my website to find out which one's right for you. It's at SaraBantaHealth.com, and maybe you're not ready for a full detox and you just want 1 or 2 or 3 supplements to get started. Complete my health goals form for your free supplement protocol. I will personally put together a protocol just for you. Just by taking a few steps forward with your health, you will change your life. The difference is I'm here every step of the way, and you will succeed. So I feel like this hot topic I've been waiting for the last 20 years, because this is part of the source of my rock bottom when I was feeling awful when I would eat a certain food and everyone else told me it was the healthy white meat. We're talking about chicken, right? It's the diet food. It's full of protein, all those amino acids. There's no fat. You eat your chicken and your broccoli and you'll be golden. You'll lose the weight. You'll build the muscle. Well, maybe not. So, and I always knew that something just didn't feel right in my gut every time I ate chicken. I would get bloated and constipated and just yucky. Well, for decades, the world has been told to choose chicken over beef. That was the smart, healthy decision. It's leaner, it's lighter, it's safer. But now there's a lot of research. And I posted on social media last week about chicken, and there's now more news about it. So it does get a little darker. It turns out that this bacteria called Campylobacter jejuni, I'm saying it wrong, I'm sure, found in chicken may be doing much more than just causing a few days of food poisoning. It could actually be accelerating the development of and spread of colon cancer. So people think, okay, this bacteria, you get a little nauseous, you get a little diarrhea, it passes, we're all good. No. And this colon cancer is rising, especially among the younger people who were never thought to be at high risk. We have seen in the news lately that colon cancer and digestive cancer rates have increased significantly in people under 50, and this might be part of the equation. Around the world, this bacteria is seen as the most widely known source of food poisoning, often contracted through the handling and the consumption of undercooked chicken. It primarily causes short-lived symptoms such as vomiting and diarrhea, but the recent developments suggest that this bacteria is known to produce a toxin called CDT, which has the potential to lead to DNA damage, predisposing it for cancer to grow and subsequently spread. Now, if your body is healthy and your immune system strong and you have a few cancer cells, your body's going to take care of it. The problem is that we have so many threats in our water, our food supply, our heavy metals, our chemicals, our radiation, our just mood and stress. All those things lower our bucket, or I should say, fill our bucket of things our body can handle, but lower our immune system. So then the cancers are able to say, hey, we get to take over. Well, in a study tracking 70 colon cancer patients, researchers discovered that those whose cancer metastasized had significantly higher levels of this bacteria than those whose cancer stayed localized. Experiments on mice with human cancer tissues confirmed the same. The bacterial toxin accelerated tumor spread. And while this study didn't claim that this bacteria is the sole cause of the surge in this early onset cancer, it adds one more piece to the puzzle. Our modern food supply is undermining our gut health and increasing cancer risk more than we realized. Like I said, it's one more thing. One meal of processed foods causes leaky gut. If you have leaky gut and your gut's compromised, and then you take in some healthy white chicken and it has this bacteria, that cancer is just going to spread and have more of a chance to take over. The bacteria strengthens parasites, the parasites strengthen the viruses and the bacteria. They all play together. And when the gut is not resilient, it's like this firestorm. But the bad news does not stop here. I mentioned on social media last week, an Italian study reported that people who ate 30 grams of chicken a week, which is the equivalent of 3, maybe 4 portions, double their risk of dying from digestive cancers. I know if you eat chicken at all, you're eating it at least 3 to 4 times a week because it's probably your staple. I have not been eating chicken for maybe 10 years because before any of this was in the news, before the pandemic where the spike protein made all of this even worse, I would get E. coli or salmonella flare-ups, and I would scan my body with the SCIO machine to confirm it. And it was healthy white meat. It was from reputable sources. It was even organic. Didn't matter. But I would get bloated. I would get constipated, super uncomfortable. I'd get acne. And I knew that something wasn't right. Now things are even worse. The food supply is even worse. It's been hijacked. The chicken are in crowded environments. They're stressed. How do you think their stressed meat is going to feed your body, right? So this is what's going on behind the scenes. These birds are exposed to antibiotics, hormones, pesticide-laced feed, stress, unnatural living conditions. And this creates an environment where harmful bacteria thrive and where the actual nutrient density of the meat goes down. So you are what you ate. You're not what you ate, right? So if you're eating an animal with a whole bunch of toxins that's stressed out, you're going to have stressed out meat in your body that you can't even break down. These toxins accumulate in the tissues, and when we eat those tissues, we're exposed to those toxins, and those can trigger inflammation, oxidative stress, and eventually chronic diseases like cancer. If you have inflammation in the gut, you're going to have leaky gut. You eat a healthy meal, those food particles get through into the bloodstream. The body says, oh my gosh, I don't recognize this foreign protein. Let's have a huge autoimmune reaction, inflammation. And then there's this cascade of issues: brain fog, hair falling out, edema, bloat, constipation, diarrhea, all the symptoms. And we're not even talking about the cancer that it might lead to. The toxins further cause a diminished nutrient absorption. So here we are taking in this white meat with no nutrients. You just look at a piece of red meat versus white meat. Which one looks like it has more nutrients in it? And you take that in, has very little nutrients in it. But the leaky gut that you just created, you can't even absorb the nutrients. And your liver, if it's backed up, and these bacteria are caught in your liver or your spleen or your small intestine, you're not able to break down any of your healthy food, even your organic vegetables in the salad that goes with the chicken, right? Or farm to table. It doesn't matter. If you have caused leaky gut, your body is less resilient. And this is further compromising the whole gut health. Then what makes things worse is the crowded living environments of these animals. It's not the chicken's fault. And chicken 50 years ago, no problem. This creates misfolded proteins in the chicken because they're stressed. So just imagine, what do you do when you're stressed? You clinch. Well, these proteins become clinched. They're misfolded proteins and they're called amyloids. And when we consume amyloid proteins, they strengthen gut bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella. And they also can't even get broken down by the liver to use those amino acids. So you're eating your chicken to hopefully build the muscle and feed the brain, and it's actually sending amyloid proteins to the brain, causing Alzheimer's and dementia. And you're not even breaking down those amyloids to feed the muscles. They're strengthening the gut pathogens in the gut. So maybe the chicken doesn't even have an E. coli. But these amyloids actually strengthen gut pathogens like E. coli that are living nicely and in harmony with all of the other bacteria, viral, fungal, parasitic animals or things in your body. But they're living nice there. That's the way they're supposed to be. You're supposed to have all of those things in there. The problem is when the bad guys take over the good guys. And amyloids make that worse. So you're not getting anything out of it. What makes this whole thing worse? As our food supply is becoming worse, the U.S. Department of Agriculture recently backed away, I don't know why, from reforming a cleanup plan aimed at reducing salmonella in poultry. So they were about to come and say, hey, we need to test more. We need to make sure this chicken doesn't have salmonella. And they said, yeah, actually, we're not going to do that right now. We're going to focus on some other things. And hey, I'm super excited. They're cleaning up the fluoride out of the water. They're getting the food dyes out of the processed foods. But let's also look at our chicken and our meat too. We don't need to back away. So start writing to your senators. Okay, so this is what we have. We don't just have this one bacteria. We have H. pylori, which is a stomach bug that disrupts the gut microbiome and promotes inflammation. It loves to thrive in a gut with low stomach acid. And if you have acid reflux or GERD, you have low stomach acid. If you feel like food just sits there and it's not being broken down, you have low stomach acid. And H. pylori loves that environment. So we need to increase our stomach acid. And I'm going to tell you how in a minute. But when you do that, you're also going to be able to kill off some of these bugs, including H. pylori, Salmonella, and E. coli, if you happen to eat chicken and it has some of those things. You need strong stomach acid so that it gets killed before it goes down further into your system. There's another bacteria now strongly related to the advancement of colon cancer, and I am going to chop this word up, Fusobacterium nucleatum. There you go. Then you also have the E. coli strains that produce a toxin known as Campylobacter, which creates a cancerous imprint on the DNA and particularly is targeting younger individuals. So we are facing a perfect storm. And we talk a lot about the ultra processed foods. It equals 70% of the food that Americans are eating. That's an easy one. Get rid of it. Easier said than done. I know it tastes really good. It's addictive, and they design it that way to tell your brain, I want more. It's more addictive than cocaine. But now we have to be careful of this healthy diet white meat that we think is the right thing to do. We're trying to make conscious, healthy decisions for what's on our plate and our children's plates, and it could be actually making us sick and even causing cancer. So the gut microbiome is being attacked by the GMOs, the chicken, the processed foods, but then you got the heavy metals and the other chemicals in our hair products, in our makeup, in our laundry detergents, right? So our weakened immune system and poor detoxification is a huge part of this as well. You've got to detox daily. You gotta love your liver. That's where the accelerated liver care comes in on a daily basis. You gotta sop up all the toxins as much as you can. We've got to strengthen the gut. And then, of course, abstain from the chicken. So what do we do? This is overwhelming. I know. But unfortunately, we're in a world that has been created that a lot of these foods and chemicals and things are not even legal in Europe. And we're not all going to move to Europe. We need to demand that there are some changes in the US. But as of right now, what can you do? You choose wild animal protein. And I keep saying that, and you're like, yeah, I don't know about that. I've never eaten bison. You cook it like steak. Tastes better. It's a lot easier to digest. And guess what the most nutritious food is on the planet? It's not a vegetable, it's not a fruit. It is bison. These animals live longer than other animals, and they graze in their wild, natural environments. So they're taking in the nutrients, more nutrients than ever than any other food, because they live longer. And there's so little nutrients in our soils. So we're just grasping at nutrient dense food. This is also why you do need to supplement for some of your main nutrients. But bison is the best and easiest way to get in the nutrients. So bison's my favorite. Venison is my second favorite. Lamb, so good. And you can get ground meats of all of these. Make hamburgers out of any of these meats. It's very affordable. There's hundreds and hundreds of ranches around the country that you order online. It shows up on your doorstep, and it is cheaper than going to the market. Wild caught fish, salmon, sardines. I love trout, but make sure it's wild and make sure you know the source, not the farm raised. And elk is another one. Stay away from the chicken. Stay away from the pork. Pork is dirty. They don't sweat. All the toxins are in there. Full of parasites. I will never have pork ever again after I've overcome a parasitic infection that I wish upon nobody. And you know what else happened during that parasitic infection? Bouts of E. coli, bouts of salmonella, because the parasites weakened my body and my immune system. So some of these other pathogens were able to take over. So, like I said, it hits even the ones like me who is trying to do all the right things. Okay. So the wild animals, they've not been injected full of the antibiotics, the industrial feed, all that stuff. So what else can we do? You have to look to supplements. And number one is the accelerated cellular detox powder. Think of it as the mop that soaks everything up. It's a combination of natural binders, including micronized, very small particles of zeolite, organic, of course, activated charcoal, slippery elm, chitosan. Did you know chitosan helps actually soak up excess cholesterol and dietary fat from your diet? Can help with weight management. Soaks it up and takes it out of your body. Triphala increases the digestive fire in your body, so it will help with digestion, but it's trapping and removing the toxins, heavy metals, endotoxins, harmful bacteria prior to them getting through the gut lining and entering the bloodstream. It also coats the stomach lining, helps with inflammation in the gut and conditions like leaky gut, colitis, Crohn's disease, diverticulitis. So these organisms, these bacteria, along with their toxins, because the other thing to think about is if they're strengthening other toxins like parasites, parasites hold mold and heavy metals. And so when you release them, they'll release these other toxins. So it's like this cascade, and that's where you get detox flu symptoms. Well, the detox powder soaks all of that up so you don't have those detox symptoms. It's that molecular mop. Accelerated cellular detox powder. I take it every single day. About to go on a trip. I will be taking it before and after my meals out. Even the organic restaurants, you just don't know what the cooking conditions are like in the kitchen. Second is HCl Guard. This has been a game changer for me. I didn't know I had low stomach acid. When I started that, the HCl Guard, the amount of bouts of E. coli and salmonella went to zero because it increases that stomach acid. So the HCl Guard is going to kill those bacteria before they even get into the system. Most people are unaware that they have low stomach acid. And you've got people in my own family that are popping the Tums and the Pepcid for their acid reflux. That acid reflux is from too low of acid. So the acids is able to come up the throat because the little valve to keep it down is loose because there's not enough acid down in there. So you need more acid. So what I love to do with HCl Guard is you start with 1 cap with your meals, increase it until you get a little burning sensation, and that shows you, okay, that's all I need. So it's a great supplement because it tells you how much you need, and it tells you if you don't need it. Maybe you burn after just 1 cap and you're like, my stomach acid is pretty good. Okay, accelerating iodine. Why? Well, iodine serves as a really strong antimicrobial, antiviral, antifungal, antiparasitic, antibacterial, all the things. It doesn't matter what you are being bombarded with, it will help with your immune system. And it helps with your DNA. So it doesn't just act with your thyroid and help with the fat burning and your metabolism and your energy. But guess what's slow if your thyroid's slow? Your gut motility, your constipation issues, all of those things, iodine will help with that. And it neutralizes free radicals along with oxidative stress and just helps with the cell damage. So it is known to be anti-cancer as well. Accelerating iodine is different than any other iodine on the planet. It's really important to understand the difference. Accelerating iodine comes from deep in the earth, untouched by modern man in South America. Most iodine supplements come from Asia, and those Asian waters have been contaminated by Fukushima. And then you've got iodine that is paired with the wrong alcohol that's GMO or has chemicals in it or is not 200 proof and it's diluted with water. Why does that matter? Well, if it's diluted with water, then it can't get into the cells as well. Accelerating iodine is 100% alcohol, 200 proof, non-GMO, organic. And if your supplement doesn't say that on the bottle, then you can bet that they are using a cheaper alcohol. And glycerin, it doesn't do the same thing. Sea kelp supplements, they could be radiocontaminated. In our personal experience, when we've looked at all sea kelp iodine supplements, they were all radiocontaminated. Okay, how do we make our gut resilient? Megaspore biotic. So this is different than a probiotic. A probiotic has just a few strains, and number one, probably won't survive the stomach acid. Number two, it might populate your gut with too much of a good thing and not enough of the other stuff. Megaspore goes down in there, it sleeps until it gets to where it needs to go, and it says to my gut, hey, Sarah, you need more of this and this and this. And it might say to you, hey, you need this and this and this, and not what Sarah has. So it's got a brain, and it will give you what you need for your gut. It restores that homeostasis, and it makes your gut more resilient. The last supplement I cannot name. Comment below if you'd like the name of it, but it is known as the #1 supplement for Bali belly. What is Bali belly? Bali belly is food poisoning in Bali, which is so very common. It is the #1 supplement. This supplement is known for its broad spectrum antimicrobial properties without harming the beneficial bacteria. And you've got antiviral properties, antibacterial properties, antipathogenic, antiparasitic, all the things. So it is a game changer, especially when it's paired with these other supplements. So where do we go from here? The food system is not on our side. If you're not going to move to Europe or other places, then this is what you need to do. Prioritize that wild protein. Strengthen your gut bacteria or gut barrier. Detoxify daily. Like I mentioned before, using the accelerated liver care combined with these other supplements is going to help with your liver. Just be on its game and strengthen your immune system. So health today, you have to be proactive. You can't just sit back anymore. But this is the good news. The body is designed to heal itself. If you give it the tools it needs, it will become the miracle. So thanks for listening. Our discussion does not have to stop here. If you're feeling lost and you're a little overwhelmed, which I get, you can start by getting your free supplement protocol. Just head to SaraBantaHealth.com, complete the form, and I will personally put together a protocol for you. Follow me on social media at Accelerated Health Products and join the free group coaching. Ask your questions. Learn on a daily basis. You will stay motivated to keep doing the right thing. And you can find this podcast, Accelerated Health with Sara Banta, on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, E360, iHeartRadio, over 100 different platforms. Share this podcast with your friend that's eating chicken. They might not want to hear it, but they need to. And you can also use coupon code podcast10 to get 10% off site-wide. Remember, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.